A Bay Area woman may prove that how much it pays to recycle. Now, this is according to NBC in the Bay Area in California. An older woman did not realize that her unwanted computer remains were valued at over $200,000 after she had dropped some junk that she cleaned out of the attic, or stuff that she thought was junk, down to an electronic recycling shop. Which, by the way, that's kind of good. Like, it's good to recycle your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So how lib is she, right? For a 60-year-old, I'm gonna recycle, protect the earth instead of throw stuff away. Cool. Okay. Anyway, so according to Clean Bay Area Vice President Victor Gaichin, she dropped off a couple of boxes like that, just like that. In one of these boxes, they found that they were digging through these boxes a couple of weeks after she dropped it off. We couldn't believe our eyes. We thought it was fake. Thought what was fake? Turns out that they have found an original Apple I computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's where the big number comes from, I take it? That's like, wow.
Well,
that is cool.
Only 200 Apple I computers were made. And this was back when Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were still working out of their garage and created this Apple I computer out of spare parts.
So how was she one of the 200 that got it? Did they say?
Her husband, somehow her husband had acquired one. Maybe he's one of the one that originally bought it. Because they, according to this article in 1976, they built these, 200 of these models and sold them each for, and this will make conservative heads explode, $666.60.
Wow. Wow. It's all a conspiracy.
It's a mark of the beast.
Burn your computer. So would she have any way of knowing that it was like could she have found that out in advance? Like, how did they find out that it was one of the 200?
Well, they find out because they had that computer there. And what they do is that they sold it at a private auction for $200,000. And they have a policy of, if there's anything that's really worth value that gets dropped off and brought to them, they have a 50-50 policy.
Okay.
So meaning that if you drop something off really valuable and they can sell it for a lot at the auction, the person who dropped it off gets half of that.
So she might be getting $100,000 at least.
She has a check right there. According to one of the guys that works at Clean Bay Area, tell this lady to please come over to our warehouse in Milpitas again, and we'll give her a check for $100,000.
Jeez.
I'm sorry for any California natives. I butchered that. Names are hard.
You seem so West Coast, Jeff. I'm surprised.
I am not. I am the least West Coast person ever.
I agree. No, that's a cool policy.
That is
like, I've never heard of anyone having a policy like that before. Like, that's pretty noble. Like, it's like, by the way,
liberals in California.
I know, doing that thing. I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine all recycling places having a policy like that. That's super cool, though. Maybe it's more common than I realize, but I mean, that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Well, so they still don't know the name of the woman, so they're still looking for her. So they've got this check in hand, waiting for this woman to be found, and they know what she looks like, but she didn't leave any contact information. So they know what she looks like, but they do not know her name. Now, hopefully, she turns up to go collect their money from this, this old piece of vintage technology, which, somehow some collector out there was like, yes, an Apple I, I want it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and hopefully those folks that work there that saw her have good photographic memory.
Absolutely.
it's like as
I said,
I think that's her.
The vice president, Victor Gaichin, says, hey, I know exactly what she looks like, and that check is waiting. So
yeah, well, now it's like one of those things, like every 6-year-old woman might just go there, take their chances. Like, you remember me? I was that person. Like, no, you're not her. You're not her.
You're not the one. You are not the one. Next.
Yeah, right? Like they kind of look like, I bet she looks a little hippie-ish and stuff. They kind of get some older clothes. They're going to be like, okay, I think I can pass.
Now, so I'm a little too young for the Apple one. Okay.
Me too.
That's 1976. Though I do remember playing around with the original Macintosh when I was a kid. I remember that there were some green screens. Like
I remember that.
Do you remember the Tandies?
I don't know if I remember that.
You know, you don't remember the Tandy with the big 5.5-inch floppy? And no, I'm not talking about that.
No, I remember the floppies. I remember the the apples. They had the big apple in the center. They were very gray.
The Macintosh, I think.
Yeah, and I remember the Oregon Trail.
Yep.
No, I remember all that stuff, and then I remember it's like you had to do like a little /A to get into it and stuff like that. Like it was all kind of like type code. I do remember that stuff, and I do remember you could print out this really junky looking page of stuff that you typed. Like I remember all that.
Yeah, old school stuff, man.
Yeah,
like, technology really has come a long way since the Apple. Even the Apple II, the Macintosh, all that stuff. As I said, I do remember playing around with some of that stuff, but like I used to do the Tandies at school, which was weird with the green screens. That was our computer lab.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the ironic thing is that it was like 1999. And our school still had Tandies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do remember like the school stuff would like stay a bit behind the times, and you're like, is this still going to be applicable soon? Like, nope, no, it's not.
No.
Pass you by.
But you can enjoy some Pong.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, Oregon Trail's online. So there's still, I mean, hey, sometimes less is more, simple is best. I mean, that game has stood the test of time. And
you know what? I can't ever not die of dysentery.
I've usually died of dysentery. I always wanted to die of something cooler.
Yeah,
but usually it was dysentery.
Like, can you at least get gored by a buffalo? That would at least be a cool way to go.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about that thing, too, like, it was always in your best interest to, like, pick someone in the middle. Like, if you pick the, like, really super wealthy person, that person was always not the best on the road because they were used to being wealthy and right. Like, they didn't have to worry about as much. So, but if you pick the person that was, like, maybe they were a farmer, like, so they were used to being outside, they had a little bit in their pocket but not much, that person was usually the one that might make it. They can handle the elements. They got enough to get what they need, and they live simply.
Yeah, no, that's a good strategy. I never utilized that.
What was your strategy? Were you always just the banker? You're like, I'm gonna be the rich guy. I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff and die quick.
To be honest, I don't even remember. That's how long. Right. That's how long ago I played it. Remember, I think I played that on the original Mac. So.
Well, I remember the important things from my childhood, Jeff.
Ouch.
I remember some Oregon Trail games. That's what I retained.
That hurts. Nothing else, though, right? Nothing else.
That's it. That's where I peaked. That's.
All right. Well, hopefully she goes and gets her money soon. So.